Coming up on Mountain News this morning, dozens of people are left unaccounted for in Virginia after a severe storm leads to intense flooding. And a well-known rock band in our region mourns the loss of one of its members.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
6:31. Good morning to you on this Thursday. I'm Dakota Makris. Thank you for waking up with us and enjoying your morning with us. Let's take it over to Brandon this morning. Brandon, is there still some fog out and about?
A little bit.
Okay. I just looked over. I was like, there's no fog over there in the Mountain Parkway.
Well, you were looking for the visibility numbers, which I'm not using right now. So, yeah, I typically lead with those if I don't have any rain to talk about. But, yes, there is still some fog out there this morning. But as you mentioned behind me, not on the Mountain Parkway camera. Let's take a look at that there near the Wolf-Powell County line close to Slade. And you see a few clouds. Overall, a beautiful start to the day. Cooler this morning, though, than it was yesterday, especially with those dew points being way, way down. 59 in Wise, 56 in Clintwood. Everybody else is in the 60s this morning. Look at Louisville, already being an overachiever into the 70s up there. All that concrete and pavement holding in that residual heat from yesterday. 85 this afternoon again. It's that time of the year where you can't rule out a stray pop-up in the heat of the day. So we're putting into the day, and then, of course, clear skies tonight. Maybe some more fog toward tomorrow morning. We'll keep an eye on that, but Dakota won't be here to see it. He'll be out of town. Dakota?
Well, roughly 40 people are unaccounted for after flood water swept through parts of Virginia. Officials say the water began rising Tuesday night, damaging or washing away more than 100 homes. CBS's Bradley Blackburn has the latest.
In the valleys of Buchanan County in far western Virginia, the water rose so fast Tuesday night, residents struggled to get out.
Our water line, that's how far up it got.
The flood was powerful enough to push entire homes off their foundations, sweep away trucks, and leave a community reeling.
People lost everything. And it's sad.
This mom was home with her toddler when the water started rising.
Me and my son, my 2-year-old son, were on an air mattress in the floor, and we were floating, and the water was up maybe this high.
Significant damage was seen stretching more than 10 miles. The sheriff's office reports as many as 150 homes were flooded or washed away, and roads were wiped out.
Water's been in the road, and houses in the road, and it's just a mess.
Virginia's governor has declared a state of emergency to assist with response and recovery operations. The governor's office said the same community was hit by flooding last year and was still in the process of recovering. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
As of right now, officials say no deaths have been reported and are hopeful that dozens of people unaccounted for will be found as phone service and electricity are restored to neighborhoods experiencing outages. In the predominantly rural area, rescue crews are also going home to home. Well, a Southern Kentucky woman was found dead in Lake Cumberland on Tuesday. The coroner says 29-year-old Chelsea Ray Gregory was found in the water near Fishing Creek, that's west of Somerset. The coroner says people with her have given them two different stories. One was that she was diving off a bluff. Another said she got out of the boat she was in and was swimming when she went under. Fish and Wildlife officers recovered her body. She was not wearing a life jacket, but the coroner says someone on the boat tried to throw her one. An autopsy is scheduled for today. A death investigation is underway in Lee County where a man died while working. Officials say the Lee County Road Department was directing a mowing operation in St. Helens when flagging crews found an operator slumped over in a tractor. The man was not breathing and was unresponsive, with crew members performing CPR until first responders arrived. The man, whose name has not been released, later died at the Kentucky River Medical Center. Questions are being raised after a Southern Kentucky man made some strange phone calls, then disappeared. That's the situation that's surrounding the case of Ricky Griffiths in Wayne County. Police are investigating, and his family fears something bad happened. They say he was last seen on July 4th and made strange phone calls in the days after, talking about being stuck on a mountain. His car was later found in mud near the Coopersville area. His sister says she is suspicious of the whole situation.
I'm very convinced that there's a foul play going on. I'm very convinced that there are people who know what has happened to my brother.
Well, Griffith's family is asking people in the Coopersville area to come forward, especially if they have any security footage of a white Cadillac driving around on July 5th. Well, an urban man was sentenced to more than 30 years in federal prison on Wednesday. Brian Krim pleaded guilty to production of child pornography. Krim and his wife, Brandy LaRae Krim, were arrested in September of 2020 after receiving a tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children about uploads made to Google. The Krims both pleaded guilty to the charges in March 2022. Brandy was originally scheduled to also be sentenced on Wednesday, but her sentence was continued to a later date. Well, emotion overcame Lexington activist Sarah Williams on Wednesday after a jury found her not guilty on all but one charge. Williams was charged with 5 misdemeanors, including inciting a riot and resisting arrest. Well, those charges stemmed from a racial justice protest in downtown Lexington in the summer of 2020. After 2 days of testimony, a jury deliberated for 2 hours before reaching a verdict.
And the outcome shows us that we live in a community that wants something better. 50 or 60 years ago, I think the outcome would have been different.
Williams was initially facing 5 misdemeanor charges. The charge of being in possession of drug paraphernalia was thrown out before proceedings began. Williams was found not guilty of enticing a riot, resisting arrest, and being in possession of marijuana. She was, however, found guilty of disorderly conduct, which is a $250 fine. The London Police Department is experiencing some changes in leadership. Travis Dotson, a Laurel County native, has previously held the roles of lieutenant and sergeant within the department. He was named the interim chief of police just a few days ago. Dotson has been with the department for nearly 20 years and says he's excited to step into this new role.
I love London, and I just want to serve this community the best I can, and the folks that work here that I work with. And I'm looking forward to the future with leading them, and it's just such an honor.
Dotson says he hopes to build leaders and mentor young officers within the department, officers who will have the opportunity to pass the torch to the ones who come after them. Well, days before the new interim chief stepped into his new role, he was met with an unusual circumstance. Well, Dotson said the weekend before he began his new position, he was notified that someone was using his name and the London Police Department's number to scam people, calling various community members, trying to extort them and get confidential information and money.
If I do call you, you'll know it's me. So now you've heard my voice, people know my voice. So if you hear somebody calling and asking for money or saying a lot of information, wanting information on you, it is not me.
Well, he says if you receive any of these calls, you should contact the London Police Department immediately so it can investigate. Well, a well-known Eastern Kentucky classic rock band, Midlife Crisis, announced its youngest band member died suddenly and unexpectedly on Tuesday. We had the chance to talk with the remaining members as they looked back on the life of Clyde Trent Jr. 53-year-old Clyde Trent went to work Tuesday morning, but his band members say he was not feeling well.
I went back out to his truck to get some air, turn the air conditioner on, and make it good and cold so he could, thought that would make him feel better. And he was going to the doctor after that. And he collapsed in his truck.
He was a member of the band for more than 10 years and was known as a remarkable bass player.
We just got him singing. Clyde could imitate Earl Thomas Conley. Clyde was just that guy.
The band recently performed in Hazard on the 4th of July, not knowing it would be the last time all 5 of them would be together, now deciding how to handle upcoming shows without a key member.
It's gonna be a shock, and we've got a lot to talk about. You know, you've heard us, we're a pretty good band. We've been together a long time to try to fill that spot.
Besides loving music, band members say he loved his family and was a loving father and husband.
They're doing as well as could be expected. None of us ever dreamed that that we would be talking about this today.
If you saw him on stage, he was known for wearing dark sunglasses and his tough persona, but that did not stop their fans from loving him.
The kids just would migrate to him. I don't know why. And every now and then, you'd see a smile, just because cracking his armor was kids.
Trent's visitation will be held this evening at 6 at the Letcher Funeral Home Chapel. His funeral also will be there Friday afternoon at 1. The band canceled 2 upcoming shows and are just beginning discussions about what the future will look like.
6:41 here on this Thursday morning. Temperatures still very mild out there across the region. 56 in Clintwood, 59 in Wise. Everybody else is in the 60s this morning across our area. We'll continue to watch that. Dew points still way down, so it's comfortable out there. It is crisp, at least in some spots. I actually rode to work with the window down this morning. Turned the air conditioner off and rode the window down. It was comfortable the whole way in, but a little bit of fog out there, so continue to be careful of that. Breakfast forecast for us today. Get your breakfast, get out the door. It's time to get going. It is going to be a beautiful day overall with sunshine and temperatures in the mid-80s. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you so much. It's almost 6:42. When we come back here on Mountain News this morning, we see a jump in monkeypox cases here in the U.S. as more vaccines reach the states that need them.